Number 1. This just happened out late with my dog. I just had this strange encounter. I took my dog to pee past midnight. It's late for a woman to be out, I know, but I think my dog gives me a false sense of security sometimes. Also, usually there are 1 to 2 dog owners out even past midnight, but tonight there wasn't. I was in a courtyard area between multiple buildings, as my dog was finding a spot to pee. This guy passes by in the pathway close to one of the buildings, to my left. I just look at him, and maybe I look too hard or something because I can come off kind of creepy when I stare because sometimes I dissociate, especially if I'm tired. He started looking behind him and stalling, like he's waiting for something. He walks back a bit, walks a bit forward, just stalling and looking down and back. And my assumption is he has an off-leash dog he's waiting for. I can't really see because there are bushes. I notice when he stares at my dog peeing. As he's doing this, a security guard in bright yellow walks in the pathway close to the building right on the other side of me, right side, and the guy walks off. I didn't see any dog with him. I think he's gone. For some reason, I'm not really registering this as a threat. I really don't know why. A part of me thought maybe I scared him by staring at him. So, my dog pees and poos pretty quickly, and as I'm walking back, that guy had crossed to another building and he's close to the back door of that building, hiding behind a pillar. Just standing there stoically watching me behind the pillar. He makes no movements. Just stares. A somewhat narrow road is separating us. No one else is around, no cars. So, I walk to the opposite side and cross the street there instead, and as I'm on the other sidewalk opposite the sidewalk he is on, I look where I saw him in case he darts at me, and he's still staring me down from behind the pillar. His body isn't turned and head is, and he's just watching me. I rush home. 0 words exchanged, no gesturing, nothing. He didn't look homeless at all. He had on a nice black tracksuit. Looked brand new. White male. Didn't seem obviously mentally ill in any way. Also, it was odd because I was calm the entire time. I don't know if I can report this, there was no interaction. It was night, so I couldn't make out any real features other than he was white, wearing a black tracksuit and was staring at me. Number 2. I sold the socks off my feet for $10. Someone bought the socks off my feet at the grocery store. Alright, so for some context, I'm a 30-year-old female and live in the Midwest United States. About a week ago, I was shopping at my local grocery store for a few things I needed. I noticed a man near me in the dairy section looking at me intently a little bit, so I smiled as I walked away. I go through the checkout line and bag up my groceries and head out to my car. As I'm loading my items into the back of my car, the same guy I saw in the store pulls up behind my vehicle and says, "Hey, I have a question for you." I said, "Sure, what's up?" He then says, "Can I buy your socks?" At this point, I'm thinking I must have heard him wrong, so I ask him to repeat the question, and he proceeds to ask the same question. "Can I buy your socks? I'll pay you $10 for the socks on your feet." I said, why? He said, "Yeah, no, it's kind of my thing." I replied, "Like a foot fetish sort of thing?" He said, "Yes, something like that." Now, mind you, as he's asking me this, he has my car blocked in and he's reaching into his inner jacket pocket. Now, as a woman, I'm always aware of my surroundings and such. So, at this point, my brain is thinking worst-case scenarios. This man is about to pull out a gun and shoot me if I don't give him my socks. So, I said, "Hold on, let me go put this cart back." So I walk back to my car after returning the shopping cart, and he has now exited his car and is right next to my driver's side door. Now I'm panicking and I'm scared for my life. It's fight, flight, or freeze, and I am frozen solid, honey. So I sit in my driver's seat with the door left open, and I proceed to take my socks off of my feet and hand them to this guy. He says, "Thank you. You're beautiful and your feet are so pretty." He then hands me the $10 and walks back to his vehicle and drives away. Now this is by far the creepiest/scariest thing that has ever happened to me. And at this point, I'm no longer wearing socks out in public. LMAO, tell me what you think about this and what would you have done in this situation. Number 3. That was not my husband. Due to me being chronically ill, my husband and I sometimes sleep in separate rooms, because he is a wild sleeper, as in tossing and turning, pushing me off the bed. The night in question was a similar one where, about half an hour ago, I heard my husband walk up the stairs, saying, "Geez, it's almost morning," and closing the door. The door of our bedroom closes in a very particular way. You have to click it after you close it. So, I'm thinking that my husband went to bed. I went downstairs to get something to drink and see the light in the kitchen is still on. I thought he forgot to turn off the light. Then I look into the living room. Imagine my surprise seeing that my husband fast asleep on the couch. So I freaked out, which woke him up. He was never upstairs. This is not the first time it happened. A while ago, me and my teen daughters were watching a movie downstairs. My husband was watching TV upstairs. All of a sudden, I hear noise coming from the kitchen. While I look at the kitchen, my daughter says, "That's Dad, he is in the kitchen." I figured she saw him, but later it turns out she did not. She just assumed because of the particular noises. We got a stool where he sits on in the kitchen, which makes a certain sound. My husband never came downstairs. When I just walked back upstairs, I did not like the feeling. It happens all the time that the feeling is off, but it changes room. Both me and my husband see a dark shadow/silhouette every now and then. On the stairs, in the living room, etc. I often hear walking up the stairs when I am upstairs myself. When we moved here, we would always see and hear stuff around our house. But later it moved inside. What might be worth mentioning now I come to think of it, when my husband and I got together, he lived in a house which had a demonic presence. I never slept normal in that house. When we got a new home together, I slept like a baby, but there was always activity around that house. In 2020, we moved here. Still, my sleeping here is also bad. Sometimes I'm up for days. In the beginning, there was also activity around the house. Later, it was inside the house. My husband even saw a shadowy head/face pop up just a few inches from his face, which totally freaked him out. I'm just realizing this as we speak, that in our former home, it was always around the house and I slept like a baby there. My sleeping pattern in this house is similar to the demonic one. What I'm also realizing just now is that it always mimics my husband, but never me or one of the kids, which is a little weird now that I think of it. I myself am sensitive to paranormal stuff, and so is my daughter, who assumed my husband was in the kitchen. I say my husband because he is the stepdad to my two eldest. I also get touched a lot, which only happens to me. I am the one who hears a lot of weird stuff and see things every once in a while. My husband is the one who sees it a lot instead of hearing it. I have no explanation on how it moved from outside to the inside. Thank you for watching another episode. Subscribe for more.